Hey yo guys, I'm here to give you my Ultimate Fight Night 18 review as well as some of my TUF Season 9 thoughts. Really, I thought Ultimate Fight Night 18 was a really good show, I should say. Two excellent fights, and to me, I guess, so far the best MMA fight of the year. I mean, it's still pretty early in the year to make that kind of a statement, but I felt that it was the best one. In the main event with Carlos Condit and Martin the Hitman Kampmann. Really, I enjoyed the fight very much, as well as the Tyson Griffen Rafael dos Anjos fight. I thought TUF 9 was good. So far, I mean, the storyline going is that Team UK is got themselves all set and ready to go, and Team USA, they're not, go, and they're probably underestimating what the Team UK can do, so that's what it seems to do. But yeah, anyways, I'll get to my review here. I'm going to also make mention of probably the big story of the week in news, and the fact that Tazz left the WWE. But anyways, let's continue here. We'll start here with the Ultimate Fight Night 18 review. We started things off with the first bout in the lightweight division, Cole Miller versus Junie Browning. I guess I kind of forgot to make mention in the preview that these two had, war of words at the weigh-in and, going into the fight. Basically Junie said that Cole Miller was overrated, whatnot. Anyways, this fight was a pretty decent fight to start the night off. Junie, got Miller's back and whatnot. Miller looked to try to end this thing early. Kimura almost got it, but Junie was able to get out of it. And then, basically the end of the fight happens when Junie goes for a takedown, but he left his neck out, and Cole Miller caught him in a nice-looking guillotine. Junie was forced to tap, and then you had Cole talk down to him and say, who's overrated now? Which, that was nice for, Cole to do. And whatever. I mean, I guess, it adds some character to Cole Miller, more so than, just being the guy. And then after the fight, he called out that he wanted to face the winner of the Spencer Kingfisher versus Cal Uno fight, which something I like because, when Joe Rogan sticks a microphone in your face and what would you like to do next? Bring on the next guy. That doesn't really suit well for me. I mean, they could just keep doing that over and over again. When you actually state you want to fight someone, I like that a lot more. Shows you want to advance up the rankings other than just bring me the next guy. I like better. Yeah, I mean, Junie got in the reports, he got a big reaction. I don't know what it would be, maybe from, people liking the character of Junie Browning on the TV show The Ultimate Fighter, or the fact it could be from Kentucky. I don't know, maybe people from Kentucky made the trip over to Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know that, but still, really was, pretty interesting reaction. Cole Miller had a decent amount of reaction, but whatever. I mean, I'm still worried about... I think Junie definitely needs a little bit more prepping still. Yeah, he got a nice big win over Dave Kaplan on the TUF 8 live finale, but, I mean, Cole Miller's a pretty experienced fighter and whatnot. I mean, he's going to have some trouble with a lot of these UFC fighters, especially in the lightweight division. Then the UFC aired, a really nice little tribute piece to Charles Mask Lewis, who, my condolences to his family. I didn't have time to... I unfortunately wasn't able to get my RIP video out on him, but yeah, Mask, definite pioneer of the sport. I mean, Tap Out is really the clothing brand that's been out there with the sport of mixed martial arts since really the inception. You can even look at the early UFCs and see, Tap Out pants. People were rocking Tap Out shorts, and Big John McCarthy would have a Tap Out logo on it. Those guys were just believing in, the certain fighters. It was just a really well done, put together piece. I never got to see the show that was on the Versus Network, I believe it was, but, these guys were really caring about MMA as a whole, and, just the way he died, in a tragic car accident and whatnot. So Charles Mask Lewis would definitely be lost, and then they came back and showed the remaining Tap Out guys, and the seat in the middle was left open, so I thought that was, emotional way, to go to break there, I thought. Anyways, then we went to the next fight, which was another great fight. This fight did win Fight of the Night. It was Tyson Griffin versus Rafael dos Anjos. Really good fight. Another tough one to score. There were a couple fights on here that were... The two fights that I said that I really enjoyed. This one and the main event I thought were really tough to score. Basically, the first round, they liked it standing up for a bit. I thought Griffin's striking was definitely better than... Dos Anjos. Maybe not by a whole bunch, but, you know, just decisively enough. But once it went on the ground, Dos Anjos was able to keep Griffin's leg like trapped when, you know, Griffin was still standing up. Griffin went down to sit on him, and he got caught in like this, like the base of an STF move where you put the leg stepped over through, but he was just cranking on it. He put a lot of torque on his leg there. It looked like he may have almost got a submission out of there, but Griffin was able to tough it out and fight it through. And he was able to continue and went on to the second round. I gave the first round to Dos Anjos because that, to me, was a very pivotal moment in the fight. It looked like he could have tapped him out. I just thought it could have gone either way, but I went with Dos Anjos on this. I thought that, you know, that submission attempt there was, you know, the most memorable part of the round, and it was, you know, some really work. And even on the ground, it was all Dos Anjos, and the striking was pretty close. I mean, I gave it a bit to Griffin, but I thought the groundwork, which was where I guess the majority of the round ended up being, was to Rafael Dos Anjos, so I gave him the round for that reasons. The second round I gave to Tyson Griffin. This was more standing up, and it was Tyson Griffin dictating the pace there. He did enough to win that round, in my opinion. Third round, it was another close one, but I went another Griffin round. I mean, there was more, I believe there was a takedown on there. Griffin, you know, his whole point one is trying to get a knockout, but he got a takedown in the dying seconds of the round trying to pound it out. He finished strong enough to win a really good fight. You know, Dos Anjos goes 0-2 in the UFC, but I don't think he really would have to worry about being cut by the UFC, as he's put on, you know, really exciting fights and, you know, brought the best out guys like Jeremy Stevens and Tyson Griffin. So really looking forward to see Rafael Dos Anjos next fight, especially Tyson Griffin. Tyson Griffin continues to prove why he's a top guy in the lightweight division, and Dos Anjos could still prove that as well. He's a real tough opponent. I mean, if the UFC is looking to, you know, make anyone prove that there could be someone to be reckoning with in the UFC, I'd put up against Rafael Dos Anjos. Anyways, the next fight was Ryan Bader versus Carmelo Marrero. Really, this was, to me, the worst fight of the night. Not knocking Bader or anything. I thought Bader did, you know, the right things to win. You know, Bader wanted to finish this by a strike or by TKO. He unfortunately didn't get to do that. You know, Carmelo Marrero is a hell of a wrestler, and he's a tough customer as well. So he was able to withstand the Bader dominance. Really, Bader, you know, it was exciting. First round. The thing I'll give Bader credit, I mean, he's strong, real strong wrestler, and he's got a lot of power. Maybe some of the best power in the 205 division. But really, he likes to try the submission attempts. I mean, he tried the arm choke submission there, what have you. He likes to try and go for a submission. He's not just going to be a wrestler who lays and preys on you and, you know, throws some strikes and, you know, just, you know, lays on you like a sponge to win the round. He'd actually try and finish you, which is something I like to see. He tried that a lot in the fight, you know, but really when the fight would get stand up, he'd want to take it back down. He won all 3 rounds, in my opinion, very decisively. It wasn't that entertaining. It got boring after a while because not much happened and he couldn't get the job done on Carmelo Marrero, but that's just unfortunate for Ryan Bader. And Bader looks like he's another real deal fighter that, you know, coming out of the TUF show. There's been a lot of them that have come out of there and proven not to be as real of a deal as we thought, but so far Bader is proving to be just that, a real deal. Then we went to the main event of the evening, which was Martin Kampmann versus Carlos Condit. Really, this was, to me, fight of the night, and so far, fight of the year in MMA. That's just my opinion. This was a great back-and-forth fight. More so, I would say, than the Dos Anjos Griffin fight, but I just really enjoyed this a lot. You know, to me, Joe Rogan said this, and I agree 1,000%, that Martin Kampmann belongs in the welterweight division. To me, he was just a bit too small for 185, and to me, in 170, he's going to be a real tough test for a lot of people. And he's a real game fighter. I mean, he's with the Extreme Couture, so he knows what he's doing a lot there. Really, I enjoyed this fight a lot. I mean, you know, Kampmann almost got him in finished. He had a guillotine on there, you know, pretty early in the fight. He wanted a submission, sub Condit early. Condit was able to get out of there and, you know, maybe potentially win the round in your eyes. But I think Kampmann just did a little bit more. I mean, he had those two attempts with the guillotine. He had a great guillotine towards at the end, like the dying seconds of the first round. For me to win the round, I mean, there was like maybe 20 seconds more. He may have got it. I don't know. It looked like to be on pretty good. I don't know, but Carlos Condit just such a tough customer. I don't know if you were going to get him out with that one. The second round was, to me, a Condit round. He had, more effective striking, better kicks, better work all around. That's where I would take this one. Condit, he had some takedowns and whatnot. I gave the second round to Condit. Third round, unfortunately, started with Kampmann getting poked in the eye by Condit's thumb. It was a complete accident. I mean, everyone on replay could see that it was a complete accident. Condit was sorry, but anyways, Kampmann continued, to come out and be a true fighter. It was a real tough back and forth round, but I just think Kampmann did enough to win the third round, and I scored this one 29-28, Martin Kampmann. So did two of the three judges. Cecil Peoples scored it for Carlos Condit. 28, and the other two judges scored it 29-28 for Kampmann. That's how I had it, as like I just stated. Really, it could have gone either way. Another back and forth fight, another great fight. Carlos Condit really doesn't have too much to be ashamed about. He brought a real tough game for Martin Kampmann, and he's going to do real well in the 170-pound division in the UFC. I mean, one loss doesn't mean you're a joke. I mean, especially in a fight of this caliber, which was just a great fight, an excellent fight. You have nothing to be shamed about in a loss, especially since it went to the judges. Not like you got subbed or whatnot. But yeah, really enjoyed the show. Thumbs up. Would love to know your guys' feedback on best fight of the night and worst fight of the night and overall opinions and whatnot. I really enjoyed the show. Hopefully you did, or just leave your opinions overall. Some quick thoughts here on the Ultimate Fighter Season show. We started with, obviously, finalizing Team UK. I kind of like this concept better. It's just better than, these fights and whatnot. It's just like 2 full weeks of fights where you just, see the same guys from the States and what. I liked it. That was from, the UK. You actually more get to remember the names more so better than, just like the previous seasons where they have to fight in. That's just my opinion. I like that. Some quick thoughts. A lot of guys look pretty good here on this Team UK. I mean, Andre Winner absolutely devastated Gary Kelly with a knee. I mean, this was a vicious knockout knee. I mean, Kelly was down for quite some time. They had to get the oxygen tanks and whatnot. James Wilkes looks like he could be the best welterweight for Team UK. As, he defeated Shea Mills, who, a lot of the guys like Bisping were saying, who's the coach of the Team UK, that, he could be... he was supposed to be one of the better opponents, and, he got finished in 30 seconds. That doesn't say that much there. A lot of good fights going on here. Ross Pearson, he finished his opponent, AJ Wynn, in about 21 seconds into the second round. He's a mean little dude, is what Dana White said, and he was that. Martin Stapleton got a win in the first round. British guys, they were just real hungry to get it, and that's, like I said, the storyline going in is the British guys were real hungry to prove their country is, a real strong mixed martial arts country, and the States are just, seem to be laid back and not ready, having trouble to make weight and whatnot. What was I going to say? There was Alex Reed. They seem to make, a big play on him. He got a little camera time. I mean, he lost his fight via sudden victory in this sudden victory round to Dean Amasinger, but still, I mean, it makes it seem like that there may be an injury on Team UK and he's going to take the place. There just seemed to be a lot of camera time on him for him just to lose and not be shown back. So that's just my opinion there. Hopefully you enjoy the show. And you know what? I think I'm really going to enjoy the season. They really didn't play too much the fact that Rich Franklin and Dan Henderson were there. Because at this point we hadn't known who was going to be coached because they still hadn't had their fight back at UFC 93. But anyways, really, that's just my thoughts on that. Overall, it was a good night of mixed martial arts on free television, which is a big positive. And the UFC, well, they send their rockin' locomotive of a train into Montreal in a couple weeks for UFC 97 with Tazz Leaves versus Anjos and Silva for the UFC Middleweight Championship. And, of course, Liddell versus Shogun Rua, the fight that was supposed to take place a year ago at UFC 85. Unfortunately, that didn't happen due to a Shogun injury, and then Liddell got hurt, and who's supposed to fight Rashad Evans. Anyways, that's just, it's going to be a really interesting night of fights there. The one undercard fight, hopefully they show, as they didn't show any on the Ultimate Fight Night card, which I guess you really couldn't, as 3 of the 4 fights went to decision. Hopefully we get to see the real, the Shark Chonin versus TJ Grant. TJ Grant making his UFC debut, made the signing, and he's going to debut here in Canada, or on the Canadian show in UFC 97. Really hope we get to see him, as I know a lot that I've been told that TJ Grant is a real tough prospect. Would really like to see more of him. Yeah, that's just really my thoughts there. Anyways, before I wrap the video up, I guess I should make mention of the big story that Tazz has left the WWE. It's a mutual agreement release. I mean, he wasn't fired or anything of that sort. Tazz has left. I mean, I think it's more so the same deal. He was burnt out. He wants to recharge his batteries, but it's probably the fact that, you know, he couldn't take it and yelled at by Vince McMahon anymore. That's what I'm going to have to assume it. I mean, Tazz has been doing this announcing gig for quite some time. He's been doing it since 2001, and he was a really good announcer for, you know, a very long time. I mean, the chemistry that Tazz and Michael Cole had back on SmackDown, on SmackDown from about 01 to when they split them up, and I believe the start around 2006. So I mean, they carried a long time, and Tazz is really the only person to get out some real strong chemistry out of Michael Cole. JBL was the other one, but it was more just funny to hear JBL yell at Michael Cole. But anyways, yeah, so Tazz is done. He won't be working WrestleMania, so the plan is to do a three-man booth. You have Jim Ross, Michael Cole, and Jerry Lawler. I'm fine with it, whatever. They can do all the matches. It'll be great to hear Ross do all the matches, because Jim Ross to me is the man on commentary. He's one of the best announcers in the world. But yeah, I mean, Tazz being gone, I mean, it's a big shock that you would want to leave around this time, considering you'd be making, you know, your big payday. They really haven't officially announced it on the WWE.com website, as, you know, they still have to show the SmackDown, which airs tomorrow night, really with just the one match of MVP versus Shelton Benjamin for the United States Championship. But still, I mean, Tazz being gone, it's a shocker. I'm going to miss Tazz. Tazz's work was good. He'd been with that company for a decade, actually. He debuted in 1999, coming in from ECW, so really, Tazz is going to be missed. Tazz is one of the better personalities. I mean, you know, he helped do some graphic designs on some of their, you know, other t-shirts and whatnot. I mean, he did some training, you know, more so in ECW, did some training and whatnot. He also co-hosted the ECW segment with Joey Styles for the WWE 24/7 show. So, I mean, he was a guy that made the rounds and whatnot. I mean, for a guy that got coming from ECW, when you look at a lot of those people, it was really just Tazz and the Dudley Boys who had, you know, a pretty good run with that company, and everyone else that came in from there really was just one and done. I mean, yes, Stevie Richards as well, but everyone else is just really one and done. That's basically my opinion there. I'm going to miss Tazz. So to me, I guess that really sets up that JBL is going to win at WrestleMania and retire as champion, and probably go back on SmackDown. I think JBL and Jim Ross could have some good commentary, but clearly there's the draft coming up, and they'd probably make it Cole and JBL again. If I'm them, I would do that just because it'd be just so smart for to do that. But anyways, that's it for me. I will be back tomorrow with a preview of the weekend ahead. The big events, really, the Booker T convention, the Ring of Honor shows, and of course the Hall of Fame. Be back Saturday for WrestleMania predictions. Yes, I will do them on Saturday. And of course, Sunday I'll be back early for Hall of Fame thoughts. And then Monday we'll be back for the big one, the WrestleMania 25 review. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.